Buddhist wisdom in modern life, a guide to inner freedom. In a world driven by relentless progress and endless distractions, the search for meaning often feels like a race against time. The modern mind, overwhelmed by external noise and internal expectations, yearns for clarity and peace. Amidst this chaos, ancient philosophies, particularly the teachings of Buddhism, offer a timeless compass to navigate life's complexities. Far from being abstract ideals, Buddhist principles serve as practical tools to confront modern challenges. They guide us toward inner freedom by addressing universal struggles, overthinking, attachment, stress, and the quest for control. In a society obsessed with productivity, where happiness is often deferred to the future, these teachings remind us of a deeper truth: fulfillment lies not in accumulation, but in self-mastery and present-moment awareness. This journey into Buddhist wisdom is not an escape from reality, but a way to engage more meaningfully with it. By integrating these ancient insights into our daily lives, we can transform the way we think, feel, and act, leading to a life of greater clarity, balance, and joy. Let us explore, in depth, 10 profound Buddhist principles and their powerful relevance in today's fast-paced world. Among them, 10 core principles stand out as beacons of wisdom, each with a profound message that transcends time and cultural boundaries. Let us explore these principles, their relevance in today's world, and how they can lead to a life of greater clarity, inner peace, and fulfillment. Mastering the self, the unseen battle. There is no greater conquest than conquering oneself. This ancient Buddhist principle underscores a universal truth, that the greatest battles we face are not external but internal. In today's hyper-competitive world, where every achievement seems to come with the pressure of comparison, be it in careers, relationships, or personal growth, many fall into the trap of equating self-worth with external success. This relentless pursuit leaves people emotionally drained. Yet no external accolade can bring lasting fulfillment unless one has mastered the chaos within. In modern society, the need to prove oneself is magnified by social media, where curated lives create unrealistic expectations. People often chase titles, wealth, or validation, only to find themselves feeling hollow once those milestones are achieved. This is the paradox of modern success. It offers fleeting highs but leaves the soul yearning for deeper meaning. True mastery lies in navigating our thoughts, emotions, and desires with wisdom. It's not about suppressing feelings, but about understanding their nature and responding mindfully. Imagine facing criticism. The instinctive reaction might be defensive. But those who have cultivated inner mastery can pause, reflect, and choose a thoughtful response. This conscious approach to daily challenges marks the beginning of genuine self-conquest. To thrive in today's demanding world, one must cultivate emotional intelligence, the ability to perceive, understand, and regulate emotions effectively. Whether dealing with workplace stress or personal setbacks, emotional resilience stems from this mastery. Ultimately, mastering oneself isn't just about personal well-being, it's about becoming a stronger, more compassionate presence in a world that desperately needs both. Consider this: many people spend years chasing titles, wealth, or recognition, only to find themselves feeling empty once they've arrived. The modern narrative often equates self-worth with achievements, fostering an endless cycle of striving for more success, more status, more approval. Yet, when external goals are reached, they often leave a void rather than fulfillment. Because true satisfaction comes not from accumulation but from within. The illusion of success as a purely external accomplishment blinds us to the real challenge: mastering our thoughts, emotions, and desires. This mastery isn't about denying emotions or stifling desires, it is about understanding their transient nature and learning to navigate them with balance and wisdom. In a world that encourages constant comparison and competition, such inner mastery becomes a radical act of reclaiming one's peace. In practical terms, mastering oneself involves cultivating emotional intelligence, the ability to understand and regulate emotions thoughtfully. For example, when someone criticizes us, the untrained mind reacts defensively, escalating conflict. However, those who practice inner mastery can pause, reflect, and respond with clarity. This seemingly small shift in behavior creates profound ripples, fostering healthier interactions and reducing unnecessary stress. Ultimately, self-mastery transforms not only how we engage with the world but also how we experience it. In practical terms, mastering oneself involves cultivating emotional intelligence, the ability to understand, manage, and channel emotions in a way that serves personal growth and well-being. In a society where emotional triggers are constant, be it through workplace challenges, social media interactions, or personal relationships, learning to respond rather than react is crucial. It means acknowledging our weaknesses with compassion, rather than harsh judgment, and working to transform them into strengths. Consider this scenario: someone criticizes you harshly during a meeting. The untrained mind immediately reacts defensively, perhaps even escalating the tension. However, those who practice inner mastery can pause, reflect on the intent behind the criticism, and respond with composure. This small act of mindful self-control not only diffuses potential conflict but also builds respect and trust among peers. Emotional intelligence also involves recognizing patterns of thought that lead to negative emotions. For instance, when faced with a setback, instead of succumbing to frustration or self-doubt, a person with inner mastery can view the situation as an opportunity to learn and grow. Over time, this mindset reduces stress and fosters resilience. In a world that often glorifies outward success, the ability to navigate emotions mindfully becomes a defining factor of true inner strength and lasting fulfillment. Attachment, the root of suffering. Buddhism teaches that the root of suffering is attachment. In a world obsessed with accumulation, whether it be wealth, status, or relationships, this teaching strikes a chord that feels counterintuitive to many modern individuals. After all, isn't ambition necessary for progress? And isn't love the foundation of human connection? Yet, beneath the surface of these pursuits lies a subtle psychological trap. When we cling too tightly to external achievements or relationships, we risk tying our sense of self-worth to things beyond our control. In today's society, ambition is often glorified without limits. The drive to achieve more, own more, and be more is seen as a defining mark of personal success. From childhood, individuals are conditioned to believe that their worth is tied to what they accomplish, leading to a culture where striving never truly ends. The psychological toll of this endless pursuit is profound. Burnout becomes common, anxiety intensifies, and many find themselves trapped in a cycle of constant dissatisfaction, always chasing the next goal but never feeling fulfilled. In personal relationships, this pattern manifests as emotional dependency. Attachment, when rooted in insecurity, transforms love into a need for validation. One's happiness becomes contingent on the actions or presence of another person, leading to a fear of loss or rejection. This fear fosters behaviors like control, jealousy, and excessive worry, which can ultimately harm both the individual and the relationship. At the core of this issue is a fundamental misunderstanding of human nature. We are taught to seek external solutions to internal problems. Yet, No amount of external success or approval can fill the void created by an unsteady sense of self. Without addressing this internal discontent, people remain vulnerable to the fluctuations of life's circumstances. Buddhist wisdom offers a way out of this psychological trap. Detachment, in this context, doesn't mean giving up ambition or relationships but approaching them with a sense of inner freedom. It means striving for goals while knowing that your self-worth isn't defined by the outcome. It means loving deeply but without clinging. Recognizing that love is a gift, not a guarantee. Consider the modern obsession with social validation, the likes, shares, and comments that dictate how many perceive their self-esteem. When people attach their identity to such transient metrics, they hand over their emotional well-being to external forces beyond their control. Detachment, in this case, means finding validation within, by cultivating self-awareness and self-acceptance. It is this inner strength that allows individuals to remain grounded, resilient, and truly free in a world that constantly demands more. Detachment, as taught by Buddhism, is not about rejecting ambition or love, it's about engaging fully with life without being enslaved by it. This means pursuing goals and forming deep connections while maintaining the inner freedom to let go when necessary. It's a practice of holding life gently, knowing that everything is transient. Consider the modern obsession with social validation, the likes, shares, and comments that dictate self-esteem for many. When we become attached to such fleeting measures of worth, we surrender our inner peace to the unpredictable opinions of others. Detachment, in this context, means finding validation within, rather than seeking it externally. It allows us to remain grounded amidst life's inevitable ups and downs, fostering a deeper sense of contentment and resilience. The distinction lies in understanding what attachment truly means. Attachment is not the same as love or ambition. It is the clinging, the desperate holding on, that causes suffering. When we attach ourselves to something, we begin to derive our identity and sense of worth from it. Losing it then becomes a threat to our very being, leading to fear, anxiety, and pain. Imagine someone who has built their entire identity around their career. The moment they lose their job, it's not just the financial instability that causes suffering, it's the existential crisis that follows. Without the role that once defined them, they feel adrift, questioning their worth and purpose. This reaction reveals a deeper truth about human nature. We have an ingrained tendency to tie our self-worth to external labels and achievements. This attachment is rooted in societal conditioning, where individuals are often valued more for what they do than who they are. From an early age, people are taught to chase status and recognition, leading to a fragile sense of self that crumbles in the face of loss or failure. Detachment, in this context, is not about becoming indifferent or uncaring, rather, it's about learning to engage with life without becoming entangled in its transient aspects. It means recognizing that while careers, relationships, and possessions are important, they do not define the core of who we are. Historically, human beings have sought security and permanence, be it through wealth, social standing, or personal roles. This longing for permanence stems from a deep-rooted fear of change, a fear that dates back to ancient times when survival often depended on stability. People clung to tribes, traditions, and titles, believing that permanence would shield them from the uncertainties of life. Yet, despite these efforts, life remained unpredictable, and clinging only created greater suffering when inevitable changes occurred. In the modern era, this instinctive pursuit of permanence manifests in various ways: the relentless accumulation of material wealth, the obsessive need for recognition, and the desire for unchanging relationships. While these pursuits may offer temporary comfort, They often lead to an identity crisis when change inevitably disrupts the perceived stability. Consider someone whose sense of self is entirely built around a high-status job. When they lose that job, they don't just face financial instability, they face the collapse of their self-worth, leading to anxiety, depression, and a profound sense of loss. Buddhist wisdom teaches that true freedom arises not from clinging to permanence, but from embracing impermanence with grace. Cultivating an identity rooted in inner values, such as kindness, resilience, and self-awareness, allows individuals to navigate life's uncertainties without losing their sense of self. By letting go of the illusion of permanence, people become more adaptable, less fearful of change, and ultimately more at peace with the ever-shifting nature of reality. Detachment from permanence doesn't mean disengagement from life. Instead, it means participating fully in life's experiences while recognizing their transient nature. This mindset fosters a deeper appreciation for the present moment, as one no longer clings desperately to what is destined to change. It is this balance between engagement and detachment that leads to genuine inner freedom. Overcoming attachment, the key to true freedom. Attachment is a fundamental part of human nature. We attach ourselves to people, possessions, ideas, and even identities, believing that they provide us with stability and happiness. However, the more we cling, the more vulnerable we become to suffering when those attachments are threatened or lost. In a world where change is the only constant, attachment creates a fragile sense of security that is easily shattered. In modern life, attachment often manifests in various forms: the relentless pursuit of material wealth, the need for social validation, or the fear of losing relationships. Social media amplifies this by creating a culture of comparison, where self-worth is often measured by external approval. We become attached to how others perceive us, leading to anxiety and a never-ending quest for validation. This attachment traps us in a cycle of craving and dissatisfaction, as no amount of external affirmation can provide lasting fulfillment. Overcoming attachment doesn't mean withdrawing from life or abandoning relationships. It means engaging fully with life while understanding its transient nature. True freedom arises not from owning or controlling, but from appreciating without clinging. Imagine loving someone deeply, not because you fear losing them, but because you cherish the present connection. This mindset transforms relationships, fostering genuine intimacy and mutual respect without the burden of possessiveness. On a deeper level, attachment often stems from an underlying fear, the fear of emptiness, insignificance, or being alone. We cling to external things because we hope they will fill an internal void. However, no external object or person can permanently fill this void. Overcoming attachment requires turning inward, confronting our fears, and cultivating a sense of inner wholeness. Through mindfulness and self-awareness, we begin to see that our true essence is not dependent on external circumstances. In practice, overcoming attachment involves small but significant steps. It means questioning our desires. Am I seeking this because it truly enriches my life, or because I fear being without it? It also involves embracing impermanence, recognizing that everything we cherish is subject to change. By doing so, we free ourselves from the grip of fear and open the door to a more balanced, joyful existence. Ultimately, overcoming attachment leads to a profound inner liberation. By letting go of the need to possess or control, we free ourselves from the constant fear of loss. This newfound freedom doesn't make life less meaningful, it makes it richer. We engage with life wholeheartedly, knowing that its beauty lies in its impermanence. In the context of personal relationships, this practice transforms how we interact with others. When attachment dominates, love becomes conditional, tied to expectations, control, and a fear of change. This often leads to possessiveness, jealousy, and conflict, as individuals cling to the illusion that relationships should remain static. However, when we approach relationships with an understanding of impermanence, we cultivate a form of love that is free, empathetic, and unconditional. We begin to cherish people for who they are, rather than for how they fulfill our desires. Similarly, in professional life, attachment to status or success can create immense pressure. People often tie their self-worth to job titles, promotions, or financial achievements, which makes setbacks feel like personal failures. Overcoming this attachment doesn't mean giving up on ambition, it means striving for excellence without letting the outcome define our value. This approach fosters a healthier relationship with work, where success is celebrated without fear and failure is seen as a learning opportunity rather than a reflection of one's worth. On a societal level, attachment drives many of the world's problems, from consumerism to environmental degradation. The relentless pursuit of material possessions, fueled by the belief that more equals better, has led to widespread dissatisfaction and a depletion of natural resources. Overcoming this collective attachment involves shifting our focus from consumption to connection, from external accumulation to internal fulfillment. When societies value well-being over wealth, they create environments where individuals can thrive without being trapped in the cycle of endless craving. Overcoming attachment requires courage, the courage to face uncertainty, to confront the emptiness we fear, and to trust that we are enough as we are. It is a journey of self-discovery, where we learn to find wholeness within ourselves rather than in external things. This journey is not without its challenges, but it offers the greatest reward, a life lived with clarity, freedom, and joy. In moments of quiet reflection, we may realize that much of our suffering comes not from life itself, but from our resistance to its impermanence. By embracing the ever-changing nature of existence, we open ourselves to a life of greater depth and meaning. We learn to appreciate each moment for what it is, fleeting, yet infinitely valuable. This is the essence of true freedom, living fully, loving deeply, and letting go gracefully. Living with purpose, navigating a world full of distractions. In an age where distractions are abundant and expectations are high, living with purpose has become both a challenge and a necessity. Society constantly bombards individuals with messages about what success should look like: career achievements, material wealth, social recognition, creating a sense of restlessness and inadequacy. Amid this chaos, the question arises, what truly gives life meaning? Living with purpose is about aligning our actions with our deepest values. It is not about chasing externally defined goals, but about cultivating a life that resonates with who we genuinely are. In a world driven by competition and consumerism, many find themselves pursuing ambitions that, while socially praised, leave them feeling empty. This dissonance occurs because external success, though rewarding in the short term, rarely satisfies the deeper human longing for fulfillment and connection. Buddhist philosophy offers a profound insight: purpose is not something we find outside ourselves, but something we cultivate within. It begins with self-awareness, understanding our desires, motivations, and values. Without this clarity, we risk living a life dictated by societal pressures rather than personal conviction. Consider the modern obsession with productivity. While being productive is important, when it becomes the sole measure of one's worth, it leads to burnout and a sense of perpetual inadequacy. Living with purpose involves redefining productivity. Instead of asking, "How much can I accomplish?" we ask, "Am I spending my time on what truly matters to me?" This shift helps us prioritize activities that align with our values. Whether it's nurturing relationships, contributing to our community, or engaging in personal growth. Purpose also involves embracing imperfection. In a culture that glorifies success and shames failure, Many become paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes. However, living with purpose requires taking risks and accepting that setbacks are part of the journey. Each failure becomes an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow, bringing us closer to our authentic path. On a societal level, living with purpose can inspire positive change. When individuals live authentically, guided by their values rather than societal norms, they create ripple effects in their communities. Purpose-driven individuals often become leaders, innovators, and change-makers, not because they seek recognition, but because their actions stem from a genuine desire to contribute meaningfully. However, the path to purposeful living is not without its obstacles. One of the greatest challenges is overcoming the inertia of routine. Many people fall into patterns of behavior that, while comfortable, do not bring them closer to their true goals. Breaking free from this inertia requires intentionality, the deliberate effort to reflect on one's life, set meaningful goals, and take consistent actions toward them. Another significant challenge is dealing with societal expectations. From a young age, individuals are often taught what they should aspire to: a prestigious career, a certain lifestyle, a specific set of accomplishments. While these expectations may be well-intentioned, they can lead to a life that feels externally successful but internally unfulfilled. Living with purpose means having the courage to question these expectations and define success on one's own terms. Purpose is also closely linked to service. While personal fulfillment is an important aspect of purposeful living, true purpose often involves contributing to something greater than oneself. This could be through acts of kindness, creative expression, or efforts to improve the world in small or large ways. When we shift our focus from self-centered goals to those that benefit others, we experience a deeper sense of meaning and connection. In practical terms, living with purpose can be nurtured through regular self-reflection. Taking time to ask questions like, "What do I value most?" and "How can I align my daily actions with these values?" helps us stay on track. Journaling, meditation, and meaningful conversations with trusted friends or mentors can provide valuable insights and keep us grounded in our purpose. Furthermore, living with purpose doesn't mean having a single, unchanging goal. Purpose evolves as we grow and change. What feels meaningful at one stage of life may no longer resonate at another. By staying open to this evolution and regularly reassessing our direction, we ensure that our purpose remains authentic and relevant. Ultimately, living with purpose is about creating a life that feels true, fulfilling, and deeply connected to both ourselves and the world around us. It is not a destination but a journey, one that requires courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to embrace both the joys and challenges of life. In doing so, we not only enrich our own lives but also contribute to a more compassionate and purposeful world. The illusion of control. Modern society perpetuates the illusion that we can control every aspect of our lives. From motivational slogans to self-help books, we are constantly bombarded with messages that emphasize total control over our destiny. If you work hard enough, anything is possible. While effort, discipline, and planning are essential, this oversimplified belief neglects a crucial truth: life is inherently unpredictable. No matter how meticulously we plan, unexpected events, a sudden illness, economic downturn, or personal setback can disrupt even the best-laid plans. Clinging to the idea of total control breeds anxiety and disappointment. When reality doesn't align with expectations, people often blame themselves, leading to feelings of failure and inadequacy. This mindset creates a vicious cycle where individuals strive harder to exert control, only to face more frustration when life remains unpredictable. Buddhist wisdom invites us to shift our perspective. Instead of clinging to control, we can cultivate adaptability. Life's uncertainties become less daunting when we learn to accept them as natural. This doesn't mean giving up responsibility or ambition, it means approaching challenges with a flexible mindset. Recognizing that while we can influence outcomes, we cannot dictate them. For instance, think about interpersonal relationships. No matter how well-intentioned our actions, we cannot control how others will react. By letting go of the need to control every outcome, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and open the door to healthier, more authentic connections. Ultimately, true strength lies not in rigid control, but in our ability to remain balanced and composed amidst life's ever-changing tides. Buddhist wisdom offers a liberating perspective: let go of the illusion of control and embrace uncertainty. In modern society, where meticulous planning and rigid goal setting are often equated with success, this teaching may seem counterintuitive. Yet, it addresses a profound psychological truth: control is, at best, an illusion. Life, with all its unpredictability, a sudden illness, a market crash, an unforeseen opportunity, rarely adheres to our carefully constructed plans. This doesn't mean we abandon goals or stop making plans, rather, it invites us to approach life with flexibility and openness. When things don't go as planned, instead of resisting reality, we adapt. This adaptability reduces stress by aligning our expectations with the fluid nature of life, fostering a deeper sense of inner peace. Consider how much stress arises from trying to control the uncontrollable, be it a partner's behavior, a company's decisions, or even the passage of time. Letting go of this futile effort doesn't mean indifference, it means investing energy where we can truly make a difference, in our own actions and responses. By focusing on what we can influence and accepting what we cannot, we cultivate resilience and wisdom, qualities essential for navigating the complexities of modern life. For instance, think about how much stress arises from trying to control other people's behavior. Whether it's a partner, a friend, or a colleague, we often find ourselves wishing they would act in ways that align with our expectations. This desire stems from an inherent human tendency to seek stability and predictability in our relationships. When people behave unpredictably or contrary to our desires, it triggers feelings of frustration, disappointment, and even resentment. No matter how much effort we put into influencing or persuading others, the reality remains that people are autonomous beings with their own thoughts, emotions, and motivations. Trying to control them is not only futile but also detrimental to our well-being. This incessant need to control stems from a deeper psychological fear of vulnerability, the fear that if things don't go as planned, we might face discomfort, rejection, or loss. By letting go of this futile effort, we free ourselves from unnecessary frustration and open the space for healthier, more authentic relationships. Letting go doesn't mean disengaging or becoming indifferent, it means accepting others as they are, allowing them the freedom to be themselves while maintaining our own emotional equilibrium. In doing so, we cultivate empathy, reduce conflicts, and foster deeper connections based on mutual respect and understanding. Furthermore, releasing the need to control others liberates us from the exhausting cycle of unrealistic expectations. It allows us to focus on what we can truly influence, our own actions, reactions, and inner state of being. This shift in perspective not only enhances personal peace but also strengthens the quality of our relationships by creating a more harmonious and accepting dynamic. Living in the present, the gift of now. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future, it is something you design for the present. This principle challenges a deeply ingrained mindset in modern society, the constant deferral of joy to an imagined future. We tell ourselves that happiness will come after we secure a promotion, buy a house, or find the perfect partner. Yet, life doesn't unfold in the future, it happens in the present. And the habit of postponing happiness leads only to perpetual dissatisfaction. In today's fast-paced world, people are conditioned to believe that fulfillment is tied to external achievements. The result? A society of individuals who are always striving but rarely arriving. Always chasing but never savoring. This future-oriented mindset breeds anxiety, as it places contentment perpetually out of reach. Mindfulness, the practice of being fully present, offers an antidote to this cycle. It invites us to engage with life as it is, not as we wish it to be in some distant future. Imagine pausing during a busy workday to appreciate something as simple as the warmth of sunlight or the taste of a favorite drink. These small moments of presence accumulate, creating a richer, more joyful experience of life. True happiness is cultivated, not chased. It's designed by the choices we make every day, to be present, to appreciate what we have, and to find meaning in the moment. By shifting our focus from future goals to present experiences, we reclaim the power to create a life that feels fulfilling here and now. Mindfulness, the practice of being fully present, offers a profound remedy to the future-oriented mindset that dominates modern life. It gently urges us to slow down and savor the subtle beauty of everyday moments, the warmth of sunlight on our skin, the taste of a favorite meal, the sound of laughter shared with loved ones. These moments, though often overlooked, form the essence of a meaningful life. In a world where constant busyness and ambition overshadow inner peace, mindfulness serves as a powerful tool to reconnect with the present and find joy in the here and now. By cultivating mindfulness, we develop a heightened awareness of our surroundings and emotions, enabling us to respond to life with greater clarity and calm. This practice not only reduces stress but also enhances our capacity for joy, empathy, and gratitude. It shifts our focus from what might be lacking to what is already present, helping us break free from the endless pursuit of what's next and truly experience life's richness. In a culture obsessed with productivity, mindfulness reminds us that we are human beings, not human doings. It encourages us to slow down, breathe, and truly experience life. This doesn't mean abandoning ambition or goals, it means balancing them with an appreciation for the present. A practical way to incorporate mindfulness into daily life is through mindful pauses. These are brief yet intentional moments when one consciously shifts attention away from external distractions and reconnects with the present. This could be as simple as taking a few deep breaths before stepping into a meeting or pausing for a moment to appreciate the aroma and taste of a freshly brewed cup of coffee. These seemingly minor actions, when practiced consistently, create a powerful ripple effect on one's mental state. Mindful pauses not only interrupt the autopilot mode many people operate in but also serve as anchor points throughout the day, grounding individuals in the present moment. Over time, they cultivate a heightened sense of awareness, reducing stress and enhancing overall well-being. In a world that demands constant multitasking and rapid decision-making, these small yet profound practices can transform how one engages with life, leading to greater clarity, emotional balance, and a deeper appreciation for everyday experiences. Living in the present, the gift of now. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future, it is something you design for the present. This principle challenges a deeply ingrained mindset in modern society, the constant deferral of joy to an imagined future. We tell ourselves that happiness will come after we secure a promotion, buy a house, or find the perfect partner. Yet, life doesn't unfold in the future, it happens in the present. And the habit of postponing happiness leads only to perpetual dissatisfaction. In today's fast-paced world, people are conditioned to believe that fulfillment is tied to external achievements. The result? A society of individuals who are always striving but rarely arriving. always chasing but never savoring. This future-oriented mindset breeds anxiety, as it places contentment perpetually out of reach. Mindfulness, the practice of being fully present, offers an antidote to this cycle. It invites us to engage with life as it is, not as we wish it to be in some distant future. Imagine pausing during a busy workday to appreciate something as simple as the warmth of sunlight or the taste of a favorite drink. These small moments of presence accumulate, creating a richer, more joyful experience of life. True happiness is cultivated, not chased. It's designed by the choices we make every day, to be present, to appreciate what we have, and to find meaning in the moment. By shifting our focus from future goals to present experiences, we reclaim the power to create a life that feels fulfilling here and now. Mindfulness, the practice of being fully present, offers a profound remedy to the future-oriented mindset that dominates modern life. It gently urges us to slow down and savor the subtle beauty of everyday moments, the warmth of sunlight on our skin, the taste of a favorite meal, the sound of laughter shared with loved ones. These moments, though often overlooked, form the essence of a meaningful life. In a world where constant busyness and ambition overshadow inner peace, mindfulness serves as a powerful tool to reconnect with the present and find joy in the here and now. By cultivating mindfulness, we develop a heightened awareness of our surroundings and emotions, enabling us to respond to life with greater clarity and calm. This practice not only reduces stress but also enhances our capacity for joy, empathy, and gratitude. It shifts our focus from what might be lacking to what is already present, helping us break free from the endless pursuit of what's next and truly experience life's richness. In a culture obsessed with productivity, mindfulness reminds us that we are human beings, not human doings. It encourages us to slow down, breathe, and truly experience life. This doesn't mean abandoning ambition or goals, it means balancing them with an appreciation for the present. A practical way to incorporate mindfulness into daily life is through mindful pauses. These are brief yet intentional moments when one consciously shifts attention away from external distractions and reconnects with the present. This could be as simple as taking a few deep breaths before stepping into a meeting or pausing for a moment to appreciate the aroma and taste of a freshly brewed cup of coffee. These seemingly minor actions, when practiced consistently, create a powerful ripple effect on one's mental state. Mindful pauses not only interrupt the autopilot mode many people operate in but also serve as anchor points throughout the day, grounding individuals in the present moment. Over time, they cultivate a heightened sense of awareness, reducing stress and enhancing overall well-being. In a world that demands constant multitasking and rapid decision-making, these small yet profound practices can transform how one engages with life, leading to greater clarity, emotional balance, and a deeper appreciation for everyday experiences. The trap of overthinking, breaking free from mental loops. In the modern world, overthinking has become a pervasive issue, deeply embedded in the fast-paced, hyper-connected nature of contemporary life. Many individuals find themselves caught in endless loops of thoughts, replaying past events, second-guessing decisions, or anxiously predicting future outcomes. This mental pattern drains not only energy but also emotional well-being, creating a sense of paralysis where actions become difficult and clarity feels out of reach. Overthinking often arises from a desire for control, the hope that by meticulously analyzing every detail, one can prevent mistakes or unforeseen problems. However, this endless rumination rarely leads to better outcomes. Instead, it amplifies anxiety and creates unnecessary mental fatigue. People caught in this cycle may find themselves missing out on present moment experiences, as their attention is consumed by hypothetical scenarios that may never come to pass. Furthermore, overthinking can erode self-confidence. When every action is scrutinized and every possibility dissected, doubt begins to overshadow decision-making. This not only delays necessary actions but also fosters a mindset of fear and hesitation. Breaking free from this trap requires cultivating mindfulness and learning to trust oneself. One effective approach is setting intentional limits on how much time is devoted to thinking about a specific issue. Another is engaging in grounding activities, such as physical exercise or creative pursuits, that shift focus away from the mind's incessant chatter. Through consistent practice, individuals can learn to quiet their minds, regain emotional balance, and approach life with a clearer, calmer perspective. Buddhist philosophy teaches us that the mind, when left unchecked, tends to create suffering by clinging to negative thoughts, imagined scenarios, and unresolved fears. Overthinking becomes a mental trap where we attach ourselves to endless possibilities, trying to predict outcomes or rewrite the past in our minds. This cycle of rumination, driven by a fear of uncertainty or failure, not only drains emotional energy but also prevents meaningful action. In a fast-paced, high-pressure modern world, overthinking is often exacerbated by the constant flow of information and expectations. People are bombarded with choices and possibilities, which amplifies anxiety and creates a sense of being overwhelmed. Overthinking, in essence, is an attempt to control what cannot be controlled, a form of attachment to certainty in an inherently uncertain world. Breaking free from this cycle requires cultivating awareness of the present moment and learning to trust the flow of life. Mindfulness practices such as meditation and deep breathing exercises help create a gap between thought and reaction, allowing individuals to step back from their mental loops and see things more clearly. Over time, this awareness fosters the ability to let go of excessive mental chatter and engage more fully with life as it unfolds. One effective practice for overcoming overthinking is meditation. Meditation allows us to observe our thoughts without judgment, creating a space between ourselves and our mental chatter. By regularly practicing meditation, we learn to recognize when we're caught in a loop of overthinking and gently bring our focus back to the present. Another powerful tool is the practice of labeling thoughts. When you notice yourself overthinking, try to label the thought as worrying, planning, or replaying. This simple act of labeling helps to break the identification with the thought and reduces its emotional grip. In daily life, it's crucial to remind oneself that thoughts are not absolute truths. Just because a thought arises doesn't mean it reflects reality or holds any inherent power. In Western culture, where analytical thinking and constant problem-solving are highly valued, people often fall into the trap of equating their thoughts with facts. This can lead to unnecessary stress, self-doubt, and even anxiety, as the mind spirals into endless scenarios and hypothetical outcomes. By cultivating the habit of questioning the validity of our thoughts, we can break free from this mental grip. For example, when a thought like, "I'm not good enough," arises, pausing to ask, "Is this objectively true?" or "What evidence do I have to support this?" helps dismantle its power. This practice, known as cognitive reframing, is widely used in modern psychology and aligns closely with Buddhist mindfulness principles. Over time, this approach builds mental resilience, allowing individuals to navigate life's uncertainties with greater clarity and calm. Instead of being swept away by every fleeting thought, they learn to observe their mind with detachment, fostering a more balanced and grounded perspective in a world filled with constant external pressures. Finding joy in impermanence. One of the most difficult truths to accept in life is that nothing lasts forever. Whether it's success, relationships, or even life itself, everything is transient. This impermanence is not merely a philosophical idea, it is an undeniable reality that every human being faces. Yet, modern society, driven by ideals of stability and control, tends to resist this truth by glorifying permanence. We are taught to seek lifelong careers, eternal love, and lasting happiness as if they are the ultimate goals that will guarantee fulfillment. This cultural emphasis creates a psychological attachment to the notion of permanence, which often leads to disappointment and suffering when inevitable changes occur. Clinging to the idea of permanence stems from a deep-seated fear of uncertainty and loss. People want to believe that once they achieve a certain level of success or secure a relationship, they can maintain it forever. However, life's ever-changing nature makes such permanence impossible. When careers falter, relationships evolve or end, and personal circumstances shift, those who are unprepared for change often experience a profound sense of failure and grief. Embracing impermanence, as taught in Buddhist philosophy, is not about giving up on ambitions or relationships. Rather, it is about understanding the fluid nature of existence and learning to find peace within it. This mindset fosters resilience and adaptability, qualities essential for thriving in an unpredictable world. Imagine approaching life with the understanding that every moment is fleeting. Such awareness heightens our appreciation for the present and allows us to engage with life more fully, knowing that nothing is guaranteed to last. In practice, embracing impermanence can transform how we approach challenges and relationships. Instead of clinging to outcomes, we learn to value the process. Instead of fearing loss, we cherish what we have while it lasts. This perspective not only reduces suffering but also enriches our experiences by freeing us from unrealistic expectations. Ultimately, recognizing the transient nature of life helps us cultivate gratitude, presence, and a deeper sense of purpose. Buddhism teaches us to embrace impermanence, not as a loss, but as a profound opportunity to engage with life more deeply. The fleeting nature of existence transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary gifts. When we truly internalize this reality, we stop taking life for granted and begin to live with heightened awareness, gratitude, and intentionality. Imagine if you knew that today was your last day, how differently would you act? You would likely approach each interaction with empathy, express your love without hesitation, and savor every experience with full presence. In Western culture, where stability and permanence are often equated with success and happiness, the concept of impermanence can feel unsettling. People are conditioned to believe that lasting achievements, enduring relationships, and unchanging circumstances are the keys to a fulfilling life. Yet, this very clinging to permanence is what creates suffering when inevitable change occurs. By embracing impermanence, we learn to let go of unrealistic expectations and rigid attachments. This doesn't mean we stop striving for meaningful goals or forming deep connections. Rather, it means we do so with the understanding that change is a natural part of life. When we release the need to control outcomes, we open ourselves to the full spectrum of life's experiences: joy, sorrow, growth, and renewal, without being paralyzed by fear of loss. Practically, embracing impermanence can help us overcome grudges, appreciate the present moment, and approach relationships with openness and kindness. It reminds us that while pain from loss is inevitable, prolonged suffering arises from our refusal to accept change. This perspective allows us to navigate life's transitions with grace, fostering resilience and a deeper sense of purpose. In a practical sense, embracing impermanence allows us to let go of grudges, forgive more freely, and appreciate life in its raw, ever-changing form. When we cling to resentment or past pain, we burden ourselves with unnecessary suffering, keeping old wounds open. Recognizing that everything, both good and bad, is fleeting helps us release this emotional weight and live with a more open heart. It reminds us that while pain from loss or disappointment is inevitable, prolonged suffering arises when we resist the natural flow of life. For example, consider a relationship that has ended. The pain of parting is real and unavoidable. but suffering occurs when we refuse to accept that the relationship, like all things, was impermanent by nature. By embracing the transient nature of life, we can honor the beauty of what once was without being trapped by its end. This mindset fosters emotional resilience, enabling us to move forward with clarity and renewed purpose. Letting go of ego, the path to true freedom. The ego, in Buddhist philosophy, is not merely a sense of self but the false identity we construct based on external factors, our achievements, possessions, and social status. In modern society, where success is often measured by material wealth and personal accolades, the ego becomes a dominant force driving human behavior. While a healthy sense of self is necessary for navigating life, an inflated ego can lead to suffering. When our identity is tied to external validations, we become vulnerable to the fluctuations of life. A promotion at work boosts our ego, while a setback deflates it. This constant cycle of inflation and deflation keeps us trapped in a state of emotional instability. Letting go of ego doesn't mean abandoning ambition or self-improvement, rather, it involves recognizing that our true worth is not determined by external factors. This shift in perspective allows us to pursue goals with a sense of purpose rather than a need for validation. Imagine striving for excellence in your career, not to prove your worth but to contribute meaningfully to the world. Such an approach fosters genuine fulfillment and reduces the anxiety associated with external approval. In relationships, the ego often manifests as a need to be right, to assert dominance, or to maintain a facade of superiority. This need stems from an inherent fear of vulnerability. The ego equates being wrong or yielding as a threat to one's self-worth. Consequently, conflicts become battles to protect pride rather than opportunities for growth and understanding. Letting go of ego allows us to approach conflicts with humility, curiosity, and openness. Instead of seeking to win an argument, we shift our focus towards seeking mutual understanding. This mindset creates an environment where trust, empathy, and mutual respect can flourish. For example, in personal relationships, a partner who prioritizes understanding over being right fosters deeper emotional intimacy and cooperation, transforming disagreements into moments of connection rather than division. In professional settings, letting go of ego can enhance collaboration and innovation. When individuals are not driven by the need to prove their superiority, they become more open to feedback, differing perspectives, and creative solutions. This shift not only improves interpersonal dynamics but also contributes to a healthier, more productive work environment. Ultimately, by loosening the grip of the ego, we free ourselves from the exhausting cycle of defensiveness and self-justification. We cultivate inner strength rooted in self-awareness rather than external validation, enabling us to navigate relationships with greater ease and authenticity. Practicing mindfulness is a powerful way to loosen the grip of the ego. By observing our thoughts and emotions without attachment, we begin to see through the illusions created by the ego. Over time, this practice cultivates a sense of inner freedom, as we learn to navigate life with equanimity and grace. In a world that constantly feeds the ego through social media, consumerism, and competition, letting go of ego is a radical act of self-liberation. The modern individual is relentlessly bombarded with messages that equate self-worth with external success, likes on social media, material possessions, or professional accolades. This relentless pursuit of external validation not only drains emotional energy but also creates a fragile sense of identity, one that is constantly at the mercy of external circumstances. By letting go of the ego, we free ourselves from this exhausting cycle and begin to cultivate a stable inner core, one that is not swayed by the transient nature of external achievements. Contentment arises not from accumulating more, but from appreciating the present and understanding that true worth is intrinsic. This shift in mindset fosters greater mental clarity, emotional resilience, and an authentic sense of purpose. Moreover, letting go of ego helps us break free from the societal pressures that perpetuate comparison and competition. Instead of viewing others as rivals, we begin to see them as fellow travelers on the same journey. This perspective nurtures empathy and collaboration, allowing us to live with a greater sense of peace and interconnectedness. Mindfulness, living with full awareness. In the rush of modern life, it is easy to become disconnected from the present moment. People often find themselves trapped between lingering past regrets and anxious future anticipations. This mental habit of living anywhere but in the present creates a state of chronic stress and dissatisfaction, robbing us of the ability to truly experience life. Modern culture, with its emphasis on constant productivity and future planning, reinforces this disconnection, making it even harder for individuals to find peace in the now. Mindfulness, a central teaching in Buddhism, offers a timeless solution by encouraging us to cultivate full awareness of the present moment without judgment. It invites us to step out of the mental noise and fully engage with what is happening around us, rather than being swept away by thoughts of what was or what might be. Mindfulness grounds us in the reality of what is, right here, right now. This shift not only reduces stress but also opens the door to a more meaningful and fulfilling life. In today's world, where multitasking and digital distractions dominate, practicing mindfulness can feel like a radical act of self-care. It reminds us that life is not something to be rushed through but something to be lived, savored, and appreciated in its unfolding moments. Mindfulness is more than just a practice, it is a way of life. By engaging with each moment as it unfolds, we develop a deeper connection to ourselves and the world around us. For example, something as simple as eating a meal can become a rich experience when approached mindfully, savoring each bite, noticing the flavors, textures, and sensations, rather than being distracted by thoughts or screens. In the context of modern society, mindfulness helps individuals manage stress, improve focus, and enhance emotional well-being. Numerous studies in psychology have shown that regular mindfulness practice can reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression, boost cognitive functioning, and increase overall life satisfaction. In workplaces, mindfulness training has been linked to better decision-making, improved interpersonal communication, and greater job satisfaction. On a personal level, mindfulness fosters a profound self-awareness that transcends mere observation of thoughts and behaviors. It enables us to see the underlying motivations and fears that drive our habitual patterns, many of which are rooted in deeply ingrained psychological conditioning. By observing our thoughts without becoming entangled in them, we develop the ability to distinguish between transient mental chatter and genuine insight, allowing us to respond to life's challenges with greater clarity, calm, and intention. This practice also cultivates emotional intelligence by enhancing our capacity to identify, understand, and regulate our emotions. In moments of tension or conflict, mindfulness provides a space for reflection, enabling us to choose empathy and wisdom over reactive impulses. Over time, this mindful approach reshapes how we engage with both ourselves and the world, fostering deeper inner stability and more compassionate interactions with others. From the perspective of one who has walked the path of awakening, mindfulness becomes not just a tool for navigating daily life but a gateway to self-realization. It reveals the impermanent nature of thoughts and emotions, helping us break free from the illusion that they define who we are. This liberation from mental attachments paves the way for authentic living, where our actions are guided by awareness rather than unconscious habits. Ultimately, mindfulness helps us reclaim our lives from the endless cycle of distraction, worry, and unconscious living. It reminds us that life is happening now, not in some distant future or in the echo of past memories. By being fully present, we can experience its richness and beauty in ways that are often overlooked. Every interaction, every sensation, and every emotion becomes an opportunity for deeper understanding and connection. For those walking the path of mindfulness, this practice becomes a bridge between awareness and action. It helps us break free from the autopilot mode that dominates modern life, where we go through daily routines without truly engaging with the world around us. Mindfulness invites us to pause, breathe, and immerse ourselves in the present, transforming ordinary moments into profound experiences. This shift in perspective not only enriches our lives but also enhances our relationships. As we become more attentive and compassionate toward others. Equanimity, finding balance amidst chaos. Life is inherently unpredictable. No matter how meticulously we plan or how diligently we prepare, unexpected events, both joyous and challenging, are inevitable. In such a dynamic world, the ability to maintain inner balance becomes not just beneficial, but essential for emotional well-being. Equanimity, a cornerstone of Buddhist practice, teaches us to cultivate a calm and composed mind amidst life's inevitable fluctuations. Equanimity does not mean indifference or detachment from life's experiences, rather, it involves embracing all aspects of life with a steady and open heart. In the face of joy, it allows us to appreciate the moment without clinging to it. In times of sorrow, it provides the strength to endure without falling into despair. This balanced mindset helps us break free from the emotional highs and lows that often dictate our mood and actions. In a modern context, where individuals are constantly faced with uncertainty, whether in careers, relationships, or health, equanimity becomes a powerful psychological anchor. It fosters resilience by helping us accept what we cannot change and focus on what is within our control. Instead of reacting impulsively to every setback, we learn to respond thoughtfully, transforming potential crises into opportunities for growth. In modern society, where constant change and uncertainty are the norm, equanimity provides a psychological anchor. It helps individuals avoid being swept away by emotions during challenging times or becoming overly attached to moments of success. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions but rather cultivating a steady mind that can observe and respond to emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Imagine facing a significant setback, such as losing a job or experiencing a relationship breakup. In modern society, where self-worth is often tied to external achievements and relationships, such events can trigger a cascade of negative emotions, fear, self-doubt, and a sense of failure. While it is natural to feel disappointed or hurt, equanimity provides a framework for processing these emotions without allowing them to overwhelm us. It teaches us to accept what is beyond our control, the job loss, the end of a relationship, and shift our focus toward what can be done moving forward, such as rebuilding confidence or seeking new opportunities. Equanimity doesn't numb us to pain, instead, it gives us the strength to face discomfort with clarity and courage. By recognizing that setbacks are a natural part of life, we reduce the emotional toll of unforeseen challenges and build resilience. This mindset is especially valuable in today's fast-paced world, where uncertainty is constant and emotional stability is key to long-term well-being. Equanimity also enhances our ability to enjoy life's pleasures without clinging to them or fearing their eventual loss. In modern society, where the pursuit of happiness often involves an endless chase for pleasurable experiences, equanimity offers a liberating alternative. It teaches us that while joy and success are worth celebrating, they are, by nature, fleeting. When we understand that both joy and sorrow are transient, we become better equipped to savor positive moments without being consumed by anxiety over their inevitable end. This balanced approach transforms how we engage with life's highs and lows. Instead of being swept away by elation or devastated by disappointment, we learn to meet both with a calm, centered presence. This mindset is particularly valuable in a world that constantly pressures individuals to achieve more, experience more, and be more. By cultivating equanimity, we free ourselves from this relentless pressure and find a deeper, more enduring sense of peace and contentment. No longer at the mercy of life's fluctuations, we become grounded in a steady inner calm that allows us to navigate life with wisdom and grace. In practical terms, equanimity can be cultivated through consistent practices such as mindfulness meditation, deep self-reflection, and developing non-attachment to outcomes. In today's high-pressure world, where people face relentless demands and constant uncertainty, cultivating equanimity becomes a vital psychological tool. Over time, this mindset helps individuals navigate the complexities of life with grace and resilience, reducing emotional reactivity and fostering a steady inner calm. Consider the challenges of balancing a demanding career with personal relationships, or coping with societal pressures to achieve and succeed. Equanimity doesn't eliminate these pressures but transforms how we respond to them. By maintaining a balanced mind, we can approach difficult situations with clarity and composure, turning potential crises into opportunities for growth and learning. This inner stability allows us to remain centered in the face of external chaos, fostering a deeper sense of purpose and well-being. Inner peace through acceptance, the ultimate liberation. In the modern world, where life is a whirlwind of demands and expectations, the pursuit of peace often feels elusive. Many people believe that peace will come when they have resolved every problem, achieved every goal, and secured a life free from discomfort. Yet, this belief is a trap, one that keeps individuals in a perpetual state of striving, never truly at ease. Buddhist philosophy offers a radical yet profound alternative. True peace comes not from controlling life, but from accepting it as it is. Acceptance, in this context, doesn't mean passivity or resignation. It means embracing reality, both its joys and its sorrows, without resistance. When we stop fighting against what we cannot change, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. For example, consider someone who faces a chronic health condition. While it's natural to wish for better health, clinging to the idea that life can only be good if they are completely healthy creates ongoing distress. By accepting their condition and focusing on what they can do to improve their quality of life, they open the door to a more peaceful existence. In daily life, acceptance manifests in countless ways. It means letting go of the need for perfection, in ourselves, in others, and in our circumstances. Many people carry an internal dialogue that criticizes every perceived flaw. Whether it's a mistake at work, a misstep in a relationship, or even the way they look. This relentless pursuit of an idealized version of life leads to frustration and self-judgment. Acceptance, however, allows us to see ourselves and our lives as inherently worthy, despite imperfections. At its core, acceptance requires humility, the willingness to acknowledge that we don't have control over everything and that uncertainty is a natural part of existence. In a world that glorifies control and mastery, this can be a difficult lesson to learn. Yet, it is precisely this humility that brings inner peace. When we let go of the illusion of control, we begin to experience life as it is, rather than how we think it should be. Acceptance also plays a crucial role in relationships. Many conflicts arise not because of inherent incompatibility, but because of an unwillingness to accept differences. We often try to change others to fit our expectations, believing that if they behaved differently, we would be happier. This mindset creates tension and resentment. However, when we approach relationships with acceptance, seeing others for who they are, rather than who we want them to be, we create space for genuine connection and mutual respect. In practical terms, cultivating acceptance involves mindfulness and self-compassion. Mindfulness helps us observe our thoughts and emotions without becoming entangled in them, allowing us to see situations more clearly. Self-compassion, on the other hand, reminds us that it's okay to be imperfect, to struggle, and to face difficulties without harsh self-criticism. One powerful practice for fostering acceptance is the serenity prayer approach, focusing on changing what we can, accepting what we cannot, and cultivating the wisdom to know the difference. This simple yet profound mindset shift can transform how we approach life's inevitable challenges, from career setbacks to personal loss. Moreover, acceptance doesn't mean giving up on aspirations or personal growth. It means pursuing these goals with a sense of openness and flexibility, rather than rigid attachment to specific outcomes. When we accept that life is uncertain and ever-changing, we become more adaptable, resilient, and capable of finding joy even in unexpected circumstances. Ultimately, inner peace through acceptance is about finding freedom from the need to control everything, freedom from the constant judgment of ourselves and others, and freedom to live fully in the present moment. It is not a passive state, but an active choice to embrace life in all its complexity, with courage, grace, and an open heart. By accepting ourselves, others, and life as it is, we cultivate a sense of wholeness and well-being that transcends external circumstances. This inner peace becomes a foundation from which we can navigate the world with greater clarity, compassion, and purpose, creating a life that feels both grounded and expansive. Finding meaning in adversity, turning challenges into growth. Adversity is an inevitable part of life. Whether it comes in the form of personal loss, professional setbacks, or unexpected changes, difficulties test our strength and resilience. In modern society, where success is often measured by constant progress and achievement, adversity can feel like a personal failure. However, Buddhist philosophy offers a different perspective. Adversity is not something to be feared or avoided, but an opportunity for inner growth and transformation. Finding meaning in adversity begins with shifting our mindset. In moments of hardship, it is natural to feel overwhelmed, lost, or even resentful. The modern world places immense pressure on individuals to succeed, often equating external accomplishments with personal worth. When adversity strikes, whether through the loss of a job, a relationship, or a personal setback, it can shatter this fragile sense of identity, leaving a void filled with uncertainty and fear. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can this teach me?" This shift doesn't diminish the genuine pain of the experience, but it empowers us to approach adversity as an opportunity for growth. Life's difficulties, while uncomfortable, often serve as catalysts for profound transformation. They force us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves, challenge our assumptions, and cultivate inner strength. In practical terms, finding meaning in adversity requires embracing vulnerability. It means allowing ourselves to feel the full range of emotions that come with hardship, grief, anger, fear, without being consumed by them. This practice of mindful acceptance helps us move beyond the initial shock of adversity and toward a space where learning and growth can occur. Through reflection, we begin to see adversity not as a barrier but as a bridge to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Consider someone going through a painful breakup. While the immediate response may be one of heartbreak and loss, those who approach the situation mindfully can eventually find new insights into what they value in a relationship, how they can grow emotionally, and what truly brings them happiness. Over time, such reflections foster resilience, helping them build stronger and more fulfilling connections in the future. In a broader societal context, adversity also deepens empathy. When we endure personal struggles, We gain a first-hand understanding of pain and vulnerability, making us more compassionate toward others facing similar challenges. This shared experience of adversity has the power to unite people, fostering a sense of collective humanity and mutual support in a world often marked by competition and division. Ultimately, finding meaning in adversity is not about bypassing the pain, but about transforming it. It's about recognizing that while we cannot control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond. This mindset not only builds inner strength but also cultivates a sense of purpose that transcends temporary setbacks, allowing us to live with greater authenticity and courage. In practical terms, finding meaning in adversity involves self-reflection and acceptance. When we face hardship, our first instinct is often to resist or deny the situation. Yet, resistance only amplifies suffering. Acceptance doesn't mean passive resignation, it means acknowledging reality as it is and focusing on what we can control. This approach empowers us to take constructive action, even in the face of difficult circumstances. Consider someone who has lost their job. While the initial reaction may be fear or frustration, a mindful approach allows them to reflect on what the experience can teach, perhaps about their career path, personal strengths, or future opportunities. By embracing the discomfort and uncertainty, they open the door to new possibilities. Whether it's pursuing a different career, learning new skills, or simply gaining a deeper understanding of themselves, adversity also fosters empathy and compassion. When we have endured difficulties ourselves, we become more understanding of others who face similar struggles. This shared humanity strengthens our connections and builds a more compassionate society. Ultimately, finding meaning in adversity transforms life's challenges into catalysts for growth. It helps us develop inner strength, deepen our understanding of ourselves, and build a sense of purpose that transcends external circumstances.